Hey everyone, we've got another pop race here of the, it says Aston Martin GT3, and just looking at images, I think this is from 2018 or 2019, so here's the Aston website saying the specs are not and the like. So the GT3 is 4-liter turbocharged V8 engine, and that's by Mercedes-AMG providing that engine, only for less than 1,300 kilos, 535 horsepower, 700 newton meters of torque. It's a full-on race car, right? Fast as swear words. Olin's suspension, and I guess that's all I care to learn about it. So here's some 2018 images, but we'll get to that. We got to open this up first. So first, I like the minimal packaging, right? It's just a cardboard box and a blister to protect the thing from shipping damage, and then I don't have to have all these clear cases taking up space. You know, all those crystal boxes take up space, and it's limiting my ability to collect things. So I much prefer this kind of stuff, so I can collect more things. Okay, this is actually approved by Aston Martin, so it should look pretty nice. If anyone at Aston cares, they would have approved this model, right? But who knows? Okay, there we go. Well, piracy hologram. That's a pretty precarious position. This is at the Nürburgring, running around the Nürburgring there. The image, shows it as green on the box, but clearly this model is not so green. But then here in this image, it is very green, this side view, which apparently is way out of focus because I was doing something else. Way out of scale as well. Let's see if I can get in on this. Yeah, I feel like the colors are off, right? Like the yellow is fine, the black is fine, but this looks much greener than what's going on here. But at the same time, this green kind of matches that photo over there. But then it doesn't match this green here. So I don't know. But then it almost like matches this green here. I don't know if this car was repainted. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe these are different times, and yeah, this is a totally different paint job actually. Never mind. Ignore this one. It just has the same 21 row. That's why I pulled that one up. But this one is clearly a more accurate comparison, I think. And I guess that is not that green. It's more, I guess this is accurate. Alright. That's, I guess, one drawback of cardboard boxes. You don't know what the model looks like before you buy it. I'm going to start at the bottom, actually. So it does say Pop Race, which is nice. But it's weird that it doesn't tell you what the car is. Because who's gonna just store it in a box, right? Who's gonna buy this and just leave this on their shelf? Right? They're going to leave this on their shelf. So I feel like it would make sense if someone could pick this up, they would know what they're holding in their hand. Call me crazy. Is that too much to ask for? 2 screws if you want to do a wheel swap or paint the interior. And then it must have a brake system. That's what that tab indicates. And there it is. I'm going to zoom in here. So first, the Michelin is nicely done. I don't know if that's a decal or if it's printed on, but it's nicely done. And then a nice fat smooth tire. It's a bit of a flat tire, but maybe that's the way that is on a real car. And then these are matching the types of wheels in the side photo. This like split 5-spoke thing. The center knockoff there. I don't think there's any paint, it's just a raw plastic wheel. But then you see the brake rotor there, it's just smooth silver and some indication of a caliper. But that caliper is so... I don't know why they didn't make that caliper bigger. It would have made no difference to the price of the model to have this come and actually be across more of the rotor. Right? It's really weird. That's a strange design decision. Unless maybe it's just a bad molded part. We'll see on the back. No, the back is just as weird. Right? What were they thinking? Who's gonna have a caliper grip only like 5% of a rotor? Right? That thing should be coming all the way in here. Very strange. Oh, maybe they did it to clear the spokes? Nope, that makes no sense either, because it's clearing no problem. It's clearing that little bit. Alright, so whoever designed that part at Pop Race knows absolutely nothing about cars. and is obviously too lazy to look at a photograph of a car. Like literally the photograph I pulled up shows that brake caliper being much larger. All right, well, carbon printing in here looks pretty cool. It's an interesting zigzag pattern, and it carries across down here as well. There's some sort of green arrow pointing there. Maybe it's a jack-up point or something. Or maybe it has its own jacks built in. But nice and smooth transition, kind of like a chamfer to a vertical. And there's some sort of black matte paint here. I guess it's probably a heat shield because I'm assuming this is an exhaust pipe, which it is. But there's no hollowness. There's no dimple here. I think they could have easily put a dimple there because they have a giant dimple right here, right? So that's another weird, lazy design decision. Strange. The mirror is plastic. It's not rubbery, so that could break if you drop this model. It is nicely done, though. It's how it comes out. It's also very thin. That's a cool mirror. No paint or anything like that, but it's got a deep recess. You could put a silver paint in there easily enough. Well, I was gonna say this is gappy, but it actually isn't. Compared to the side photograph, this race car has a lot of tire gap in it for some reason. I don't know why, but it does. Alright, so this tampo printing is very nice. It's not a decal, it's not a sticker. Very cool. I didn't notice this before, but you have this little hexagonal thing, and I see that in the side photograph now. So that's a cool detail. Michelin Man, all this sponsorship seems so nice. Carbon little vent here, I assume. It looks good. And then this green metallic is very, very interesting. It's a very big flake. It's probably, if it's approved by Aston Martin, it's probably the real paint code for the real car. But, you know, when it's on a 64 scale model, it looks like it's a really big flake. I assume that's like a fuel filler, or maybe it's a charge port. I don't know what this thing... No, it said gas engine, right? Never mind. Fuel filler. Maybe that's the door handle. The black is on the outside. Molded window seems fine. The little door handle looks good. The yellow is doing a decent job covering up this green paint. Yeah, it looks good. So yeah, tire is nice. Just a really, really bad brake system. Very strange. Alright, the headlight cover is clear, of course. There's a black bucket and there's some dots painted on there. I guess there's no problem with that. The Michelin here is nicely done. Very small text, very legible. The yellow stripe is pretty good on the bottom part, unfortunately. I don't know if it was just a defect from the factory or if possibly that blister scratched it off. There's a nice fine texture in these grill openings. And also... Oh, never mind. I thought there was carbon there. Possibly. It looks like the leading edge has a carbon graphic, but it's not on the sides. Same here. It's just black plastic, but it looks like the leading edge has like a carbon graphic, right? See? Carbon, but then it vanishes here. So that's unfortunate that they didn't do a second print process, making that all carbon. It almost would look better with the carbon on top than and just have black on the side. But that's just my opinion. The Aston badge, it's interesting because it's green, but I guess that has to be legitimate if it was approved by Aston themselves. Alright, H&R Springs, Romoid Oil. I've never heard of that oil company. Interesting, but now I have. The quick release is for the hood. Not enough black paint there, but good application here. And this is all black, of course. The NACA ducts there, they actually have some depth to them and they're black, of course. So yeah, there's actually two vents here. And what's going on back and down in there? It's just smooth, it looks like, in the smaller ones. But this one, do we see radiator action? I don't think so. I think it's just smooth in there. Okay, it's fine. It's probably realistic to the car. So yeah, those are actually nice vents. They're extremely deep. You know, they could have easily just molded these a lot shallower, but I think there's literally possibly air, maybe, or yeah, I don't know. That's just such a deep vent. Look how far down it went, right? lost here. This side, I guess, it looks the same as the other side. Just, again, it's really strange. The exhaust pipe doesn't have a dimple there. Alright, going around and seeing port and stuff there. So maybe there's 2 fuel fillers. Or is this different? For some reason, this looks much finer. This looks like a wider gap. So maybe this is the fuel filler. I don't know what the other side would be. Alright, going to the back. We have painted taillights, which is acceptable because look how thin this is. If you put that in, only a resin model would have that in plastic. There's a dimple here. I don't know what it is for, but I see it on that 3/4 rear view I did. Pull up there, an Aston badge again. Nice that they put the effort into printing this text on the bottom of a wing, and it's also got carbon on the bottom, so that's nice. I don't know, some red indication, toe area perhaps. The strakes here seem okay, and then Michelin Man, the carbon fiber here. What's this? There's some sort of dimple here. It's kind of hard to see being in a black background. I have no clue what these things would be for. Maybe they're backup lights or something. Alright, let's get additional light here. So the carbon is interesting back here, right? The whole rear tire is exposed, pretty much. And then this diffuser edge is all carboned out, goes around. It kind of vanishes at the top here in the middle. Alright, but it's better than the front. The front is just so obvious that they didn't put carbon on the top surface. Probably a brake light. But these 2 dimples, no clue. Alright, so the wing struts, they seem acceptable in their thickness. And then yeah, that all looks great. Very cool. Alright, that honeycomb comes across there, the green's coming here, there's a vent and this black glossiness. So this window, it's all tampo printing, no decal that I can tell. So that's nice. There's a little cross brace in silver. You have a James Bond escape hatch going there. The Gran Turismo, all this is tampo printed. Maybe the emergency cutoffs there, and a central wiper blade, so definitely a molded window for a race car, not a road car. Well, I gotta say, it's actually pretty nice. Really great, actually. I guess it's now interior time, but it's gonna be really hard to see through such shallow windows. So clearly you can see there's some sort of silver roll cage. These 2 bars coming down the side, and they're actually passing through the dashboard, so that's nice. Oh boy, that's gonna be tough. Yeah, so the roll cage, it's so low because it has to be under the clear plastic that's underneath the roof. You know, it's spanning across this window plastic. Nothing you can do about that. There's an X-brace vertically there behind the seat. Some gauges there in the center, and the instrument binnacle, and it looks like it does have a race steering wheel, like that doggy treat bone shape. Oh, I'm noticing now the mirror here. There's actually a carbon graphic on the top of the mirrors. I didn't see it from the side, so that's nice. Weird though that they would put the carbon on the mirrors and not the giant splitter up here. Right? It's almost like they should just left those 2 black and put the paint here, but that's just, again, my opinion. Okay, so what do we have? Too much light, that's for sure. Yeah, some sort of button in the middle of that steering wheel. The instrument cluster, yeah, some sort of digital display. Looks like a box or something. Some sort of, well, no, I don't know what that was. Hold on. It's not easy to do this. I wonder if the door panel has anything. Probably not. Being a gutted interior, probably just a smooth side. Can't see. I'm trying to get a look at the seat, but this thing is so shallow, these windows. And then you got this graphic on the windscreen, so it's almost impossible to see into this thing. Oh, there is a rear view mirror. I'm catching that. Right, so that's nice. I feel like there's a head bolster on that seat. I thought I saw it there. There we go. I think that's the best I can do. I can't get the light in there, though. Let me hold this upside down, maybe? See, I feel like this side bolster's for... Oh, there it is. That's the top of the seat. So, yeah, side bolsters for the helmet, and those must be side bolsters for the chest. Interesting. They're just not very big. I guess this side, the passenger side, has nothing, I think. Or maybe there's a box down there. I think there's a white box on the floor of this passenger side, maybe for telemetry, or maybe that's where the fuel cell is. And then obviously nothing behind it, I guess. Alright, well anyways, I'll never look at that interior again. It's just so shallow. Look at my finger, right, compared to the height of the window. Alright, let's look at a few other Astons. So by Tarmac Works, I think it was. Yes, it's DBS Superleggera. I like how Tarmac tells you what it is, right? I don't have to go looking for a box, which it would be in storage, or maybe a lot of people would just throw the box away, right? But this is a green car by Mini GT. They suffer the same problem. Hey, I have a green car. So, doesn't that seem stupid, right? Not telling people what they're holding. Anyhow, moving on. This is a Kyosho, and it's a DBR9. Okay, so Kyosho still does a great job, I think. This is an old casting. I'm gonna pull this one out. It doesn't really look the same. All right, so those are some Astons, but I'm gonna. Oh, there's one last Aston by Pop Race. So this one, nice paint job and all that, but I feel like it's a lower quality product because it doesn't have brakes, but these wheels are absolutely huge, right? So, but it does have an interior with a couple different colors. So I'm not sure what to think of this brand. If they have a one standard goal across the line of their products, or if they have different ideas where they have a cheaper model or an expensive model. The reason why is this, I think it's my first Pop Race, this GR Yaris with a Pandem kit on it. This has milled aluminum wheels. These are metal wheels, so a separate part, right? They have printing on the tires. The whole thing is chromed out. It's got a roll cage. It's got struts holding this wing up. It has license plates, or maybe, did I add those license plates? I don't think so. It looks like it's a printed on thing, right? It's just, it was so impressive when I got this thing. It's such a good model. That's why I decided to try some more Pop Races, but it's almost like there's different people working at this company deciding just random decisions. No brakes on that one, but a colorful interior. Brakes that don't make any sense on this one, but no text on the bottom. Does this have text on the bottom? No, it doesn't. So none of these tell you what they are. So that's an overall theme, apparently. They don't care to tell you what the vehicle is, which, again, moronic in my opinion. Alright, so if you collect a lot of this brand, do you find the same issue? Are they just all over the map? Some lacking details in one place, but having details somewhere else? Are they trying to stick within one budget? Or are there more like X-Car toys where they have cheap models and expensive models all in the same name of branding? I don't know. Alright, well, nevertheless, it's a cool model. I think it's well done. The only thing that's odd is the brake system. It doesn't make any sense at all. But everything else, the tampo prints are nice. There's no decal use here. Even though it looks gappy with the tires, that's the way the real photo was. For some reason, this car has a lot of air gap in the tires and the fender wells. Nothing you can do about such shallow molded windows about seeing the interior, but at least the roll cage is painted silver, so you know there's something going on inside of there. I'm impressed with the depth of those vents. And then the printing on the tires is nice. The carbon printing is pretty good. Maybe it could use some on the top of the front splitter, but all in all, I'm quite happy with this. So it's cool. I'm gonna try another model from these guys if they do a subject that I like, and then hopefully I'll start drawing some conclusions about this brand. But so far, it's worth collecting. There's nothing wrong with the other ones. It's just some weird decisions every now and then. Thanks for watching. We'll see you the next time around.